What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of Dangle, Bet, Celly, powered by FTN, presented by Prize Picks. Chris Meaney and the Eric Young here with you for the next little bit. We're going to kind of rapid fire through these 5 games in the NHL. We apologize. We weren't able to hook up yesterday. And EY, I really needed you because I had my worst betting day in quite some time. Hit some shot props, hit some goal props. We had a Panarin scored the first 30 seconds into the night, and I was like, here we go. We had a sub who went to the Blue Jackets game, and we talked about betting Panarin first time goal. He hit one 12-1, and then it was just downhill from there, man. We had like a lot of crazy upsets in the NHL. Like I had Carolina to win by 2. They ended up winning. Had the Rangers to beat the Blue Jackets. They lost. Had the Pens, I think, in one parlay to win by a couple. They lost to the Kraken, and I jumped on Vegas against our Panthers. How could I do it? Our Florida Panthers at home. They just continue to roll on. So happy to talk hockey with you today. 5 games on the slate. Welcome in, man. How's it going?
Yeah, apologies for yesterday for anybody that, miscommunication. That's on me. I mean, for sure, that's on me. I wish I would have bet. I don't bet on hockey unless we do the show. I did DraftKings and I dominated, and all of what I thought was going to happen happened. So I would have done really well yesterday, but I didn't play. So can't win when you don't play. But we'll play a little bit today. A couple of pretty interesting games today.
Yeah, there are. And there was a couple. Like yesterday was just a weird day, even on DraftKings. I played a lot of DraftKings. And I thought that yesterday was just pretty strange across the board. This just wasn't a high-scoring day, right? I mean, you look across the board at some of the games. I mean, the Penguins score 1 goal against the Kraken. The Rangers had a good game. Like, they put a lot of rubber on Korpisalo. He was just really strong between the pipes. Even the Florida and Vegas game was 2-1 for a majority of the game. A couple of empty net goals towards the end of that game. Carolina only puts in, 2 goals on the Sens. They end up winning in a shootout. So it was a low scoring game. I see people hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. We're going to roll through the 5 games as per usual. Maybe talk a little fantasy hockey towards the end. If you have any questions or anything like that, please leave them there, the comment section, and we'll get to them. I always circle back on this video before puck drop as well. If anything does change, going a little bit later on in the day, we may have some confirmation on some goalies and some odds across other books that we can attack, some shot props. But Troy is hanging out with us. Says he picked up Matt Boldy in fantasy. Hope it pays off. And also Russ shot prop. The Russ shot prop, it burned us all across the board. I had him in every single parlay with Barkov and Point, and he was the one that screwed us. But I have no problem going back to him. George Z is hanging out here. It's EY. It's Friday. Labatt's even better. Rust bounce back. Tell the folks what you're rocking, this jersey that you are rocking right now. One of the hottest players going in the NHL.
Yeah, one of the hottest players and one of the hottest lines. That's Kachuk jersey, Calgary Flames. They're slowly trickling in from an undisclosed location. Forgot I ordered this. And then when it came in, I was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, oh, yeah, my Calgary jersey. And I think there's 2 more on the way. Whether I get them or when they come, that's all part of the gamble, boys. I mean, it's just part of the fun. They're $30, and fingers crossed. I made enough last night in DFS to pay for this and 2 more. So you know where I'm at.
Holy crap, man. Giddy up. Who were you on last night? Who was you on the Canucks last night? Little JT Miller in your life?
Zegras was the big one. I had Saros, even though they lost the game. He faced a ton of rubber. That's not something the Predators have done. They've done that a lot this year, but historically the Predators have always been pretty buttoned up, and they're allowing a ton of rubber, and they're showing complete trust in Saros, and he's bailing them out. But I feel like that can't continue.
Yeah, I don't. What did you think of the Zegras?
You can't give up 40 shots every night and expect to win a bunch of games. I mean,
no, you can't.
Yeah,
we kind of touched on it a couple weeks ago with the Preds, right? I mean, I don't know if they're coming back down to earth a little bit, but UC Saros has been good anyways, and you see a lot of rubber. You obviously loved the Zegras goal last night. I mean, Michigan. I mean, my goodness, that guy is special.
I thought it was a replay from another time, and I was like, oh man. I was like, oh yeah, played him in DFS, and I went over right away. I think like partway through the second period, he had like 31 DFS points for DraftKings. So I was out to a really good start. Had a couple other good plays. I can't remember offhand right now. I'd have to pull it up.
The play was it was the Ducks, right? It was the Ducks against the Habs. I can't believe that we were sleeping on that here. I said you weren't.
I had such a good day in DFS yesterday. I played Getzlav, and he was ruled out just before the game, and I wasn't around my phone. I still won with Getzlav putting a 0.
Like I said, I told you, just not a lot happened yesterday in the NHL. It was one of those odd days that if you did have a Panarin, like Panarin was in the optimal, he was in the winner, he had a goal and an assist, like 20-something points. You had the goalie. If you had Frederik Andersen, you were on your way, and if you had Terry or Zegras, you're on your way as well. Before we get into a couple things I wanted to get to. The Oilers are not on the schedule today, the 5 games. Evander Kane. It sounds like he's going to make his Edmonton debut. I don't want to get into his off-the-ice stuff. Honestly, I understand it, where everyone's coming from here. They're all over Kane these days. The truth is, from a fantasy standpoint, he's a really good fantasy hockey asset. He is. He loves to shoot the puck. He throws his body around. He's been one of the better banger league guys in fantasy hockey for the past few years. I don't expect that to change in Edmonton. He's not going to be a guy that plays on the third and fourth line. I do feel like he's going to be a guy that plays on the top line. He's going to play with McDavid. He's going to play with Draisaitl. He's going to be inside the top 6 with Hyman, with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and so be it. Like, he's going to be there, and I think he's immediate pickup. I really do. I've grabbed him in a couple leagues. I grabbed him a couple weeks ago when I thought that he could return to the NHL. So Again, not going to get into any of that stuff, but he's going to be a guy that we're going to attack from a shot prop standpoint. And again, if you play in leagues with hits, you're going to want this guy. Jared Spurgeon is in action tonight. He is on my radar. And then Evan Bouchard, we've talked a lot about as well, but his ownership is not high enough for my liking. I think he's a guy that's just starting to play like 24, 25 minutes a night, Eric. He's getting that top power play time with the Oilers. They've taken Darnell Nurse off that top unit. They put Nurse on that second unit. Now they're playing together as a pair at 5-on-5, and they're playing, 25, 26 minutes a night. But Bouchard, man, he's blocking shots. He's hitting the score sheet. He's playing with a ton of confidence, and he's shooting the puck a lot, man. I think he's another guy that should be picked up across all leagues.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the emergence of Evan Bouchard right now couldn't come at a better time for the Oilers. They need other players to do things other than McDavid and Draisaitl. There's not a lot of forwards getting anything done other than those two guys. I mean, obviously the desperation and the hope for Edmonton is that Evander Kane can come in and supply some scoring, but it's really cool to see this highly touted rookie doing some things. And, I've noticed him before, but obviously I watched the entire game last night, played my Preds. They won in a shootout, and man, Bouchard can skate. And this is the new wave of defensemen. The days of having to be 6'2" and, a big mean guy and hack and cross-check dudes in front of the net. That's a thing of the past, and it's changing. And it seems like almost every player that plays defense coming into the league is this unbelievable world-class skater, and Bouchard is no different.
No different at all. All right, well, let's get after it, guys. If you have, like I said, any season-long questions, by all means, you can leave them there. Do you think Bouchard has a chance to maintain PP1 when Barrie returns? I do. I think they probably will rotate all year long with Barrie and Bouchard and Nurse, but I do believe that it will be Bouchard to kind of stick there. He's a highly touted prospect, like you said, EY. He was drafted, I believe, 10th overall a few years ago from the Oilers. He was great at World Juniors for Team Canada. He's just he skates really well. He's just playing with a lot of confidence. So you're starting to see the progress now. It took some time for him, just like we're seeing with Noah Dobson with the Islanders, another guy who was drafted pretty high. He's starting to just get into a bit of a groove. And you know what? Even if he's on second power play, I don't think it matters because Draisaitl and McDavid. It does matter a bit, Troy, but Draisaitl and McDavid play the entire 2 minutes of the power play. So even if he comes on after the first 45 seconds or so, he's still going to have some time with the GOATs to get a little bit of PP time there with maybe some power play production. Die Hard MMA podcast. I'm sick of Svechnikov teasing us. That was the biggest thing for me last night. Playing the Ottawa Senators, Svechnikov and Sebastian Aho were no shows. Like, Aho had 0 shots. We had Teuvo Teravainen for a shot, probably got that. Svechnikov only had, I think, 1 shot. Those guys were just no shows last night against the Sens. And that's sometimes you get into that with throughout the season. A team plays a a team like Carolina, they play a team like Ottawa. They started off really hot, and then the Sens kind of put them to sleep, and they're just kind of going through the motions. And then before you know it, they're losing that game. And when they were down 2-1, they turned it back up and they tied it and then won it a little bit later on. Those kind of things do tend to happen in the NHL. The first game we're going to get to here is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Detroit Red Wings. We have the Pens massive home favorites after the loss last night against the Kraken in overtime. Another team that blew a late lead there. Minus 245 at DraftKings. Detroit plus 215. From an injury standpoint, it does seem like everybody is good to go. Jason Zucker he's been out for a little bit. He's not going to play. Detroit does seem like they're pretty healthy here. We don't have confirmation in net. I do believe it will be Casey DeSmith after Tristan Jarry went yesterday, and then potentially Alex Nedeljkovic getting the start here for the Detroit Red Wings. Nedeljkovic has been, some highs and some lows, and there's definitely been a lot of lows lately with him. Over his last 3 games, he's allowed 12 goals. From a DraftKings standpoint, he has 3.4 points, 4.2 points, and negative 5.6 points. The Red Wings have allowed a lot of goals over their past couple of games, a 5-4 loss, a 4-1 loss, and an 8-5 loss. What do you think? Anything jumps out at you with this matchup? Are you taking the Wings as maybe a potential underdog here?
No way, man. Pittsburgh, they're rolling. They're one of the hottest teams in the league. And, I mean, maybe the most impressive thing, and this sounds like a record on repeat, but Sidney Crosby is still the best player in the NHL. I get that McDavid jumps off the page and he's unbelievable, the things he can do, how he shoots the puck and how he skates. But the best player is still Sidney Crosby, and he's showing everybody this year. In limited time, he's put up unbelievable stats. And like the thing I'm looking at is in the last 7 days, 4 goals, 3 assists, 8 penalty minutes, 3 power play goals, 12 shots on goal, 3 hits, and a block. I mean, he's touching every category. He's the leader in the heartbeat of the Pittsburgh team. And if you're going to bet on somebody to score, it's going to be him. And I think, part of the narrative for me is it's no secret to the people that the players on the Pittsburgh Penguins that Casey DeSmith is not the answer at backup, and they need to do something else. Tristan Jarry has played a ton of hockey, and we looked pretty unreliable last playoffs, and that would make me nervous. Sidney Crosby knows that Casey DeSmith has not been good this season, and I feel like the pressure will be on to shoot the puck, score, and get a lead for Pittsburgh tonight. And who better to do it against than the Red Wings? They're not as bad as the Montreal Canadiens, but it's not too far off. A little jab there for you, buddy.
Habs, man. The rough. Like somebody sent me a picture this morning, like 2 things that are at the bottom of the Atlantic, like the Titanic and then the Habs logo. It's like, guys, enough already. At least we're winning some money betting against the Canadians all year. We'll say that. It's been a rough go. I agree with basically everything you said. I have a lean to the over. I know 6.5 is a lot, but what you just said about Casey DeSmith, right? I mean, that's the kicker is we know that Pittsburgh has the capability of doing it themselves offensively. But for Casey DeSmith, I mean, he checks in with a 3.58 goals against average. His save percentage is .886. You just look at some of the games this season, and 5 goals allowed to the Sharks, 3 allowed to the Blues, 5 goals allowed to the Sens. He let 3 goals in against the Habs. He let 4 goals in against the Flames. He let 5 goals in against Calgary. So we're looking at a guy here that has had 9 starts, and he's allowed at least 3 goals in 4, 5, 6 of those 9 starts. So I think Detroit too, like from a DFS standpoint, I wouldn't completely ignore them. I think, Fabry and, that second line, Fabry, Suter, and Bertuzzi is kind of interesting to me. I think that they could find the score sheet a couple times, but where I'm at for props, I'm going right back to Russ, guys. Short memory, right? Kraken a little bit stingy defensively. Maybe that was on me just giving that pick, but I'm always going to take him at 2.5. I just always will. I'm just going to quickly erase the heartache when it comes to Brian Rust. He's gave out on the Mean Street show today that he was plus 100 for an assist. He's now minus 105 for an assist. Eric, in 10 home games this season, Brian Rust has 7 goals and 18 points at home. He's hit the score sheet in every home game but 2. Last night, he didn't get the 3 shots, but he did have an assist. So I'm going back to him at over 2.5 shots, and I like to have an assist here tonight. As for Sidney Crosby, this may be an opportunity, Eric. You you're going to take him for anytime goal. But what about maybe have 2 points here tonight? For him to have 2 points is plus 155.
Yeah, I mean, he plays a ton of minutes. I mean, is there a better person in the NHL to bet the fact that he's going to get 2 points? I mean, the puck could bounce off him and he could score a goal from a shot from the point. He's obviously an unbelievable passer, distributor of the puck. I mean, things happen when this guy's on the ice. They count on him. Like I said, he's the heartbeat of Pittsburgh. And who better to do it against Detroit? They have given up a ton of rubber, a ton of shots, and Nedeljkovic hasn't been as good as we thought he was going to be. I mean, he's had moments where he was pretty decent. Sometimes in DFS, because of his low price, he's a good play because of the amount of shots that Detroit gives up. But I mean, is there anybody playing the NHL, especially a short five game slate tonight, where you would bet he has the best odds to get 2 points? I'm betting on Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, I mean, even yesterday he was plus 150 for 2 points. Obviously, he didn't get that one, but he was plus 140 against Arizona for 2 points, and he had 3 points. He's got 2 of his last 4 games have been multi-point games. I see what M. Parley is saying, 6 games and 9 nights for the Pens on a back-to-back. I'm not saying that I think the Pens are a fantastic play here today. I'm not picking them on the puck line. I think that we're just going to see some goals. It could be some sloppiness on both sides from the Pens in goal on both teams with their goalies. So I think the over here tonight at 6.5. I mean, it's a lot of goals, obviously, but I think to chuck that into a parlay, that's kind of where I lean. You can get that at plus money over at Unibet. But I am in on Russ over 2.5 shots rather. I wrote 1.5. I wish, and then assist at minus 105. I think Crosby is in play for 2 points at plus 155. That's pretty good. But again, from a DraftKings, Chris Letang too. I write Letang on my short list. He didn't have 3 shots yesterday, but he has been pretty active shooting the puck. He's on a heck of a run. Chris Letang. So there's a lot of different options here, but if you are playing DFS, you're playing multiple lineups, I wouldn't ignore maybe Moritz Seider or Robbie Fabry or Bertuzzi as well. I mean, Fabry and Bertuzzi are going to be on that top power play unit. All right, let's move on. Let's get into Minnesota and New York. We got the Rangers here on home ice. They played last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets found a way to win that game despite, again, giving up a lot of rubber. Rangers are plus money here on home ice, plus 120 over at PointsBet if you want to back them in the Minnesota Wild at minus 125 over at Sugar Hill. DraftKings has them at minus 135, 137 over at BetMGM, minus 140 at PointsBet. This is Henrik Lundqvist night here tonight. He is going to get his jersey raised, his number retired in the rafters of the great MSG. And I know I picked Minnesota on Mean Streets today because the Rangers played last night, and everyone's, has not everyone, but some comments towards, that pick, I guess, was just the fact that it's a Lundqvist night in New York. And I know I get that. I understand it. I'm sure, there's going to be, it's going to be a great atmosphere inside MSG tonight. Guys are going to want to play for him as well. But, I still like this Wild team. Like, this is a really good Minnesota team. I think that they're still strong in goal. It looks like Cam Talbot is going to play. He backed up Henrik Lundqvist a couple years in New York. Matt Zuccarello playing against the Rangers also played against or with Henrik Lundqvist. It should be a special night here tonight. I don't like a lot of goals. I like the under 6, and I think Minnesota wins. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm going to watch this game. I think it's going to be some great hockey. Lundqvist is one of the best goalies to ever play. And there are theories of bet against the team that has the big long ceremony and this, that, and the other. But look, the Rangers are a really good hockey team. Chris Kreider has 30 goals. I mean, there's not a person on earth that said that. And a couple years ago, when I worked for the Athletic, I wrote up this big thing on Chris Kreider and how he's going to become, an elite star and a big time player in the league. I was a couple years late, but people were like, "You're an idiot. You mean he's not even playing on the top line? You're an idiot." I win. Just 2 years late. But I'm going Rangers.
A good player. You're going Rangers?
I'm going Rangers. Yeah, I'm going Rangers, and I'm going Kreider to be an anytime scorer. He played, with Lundqvist. And like you said, a lot of the players that are playing on the Rangers right now played with Henrik Lundqvist. And I think it's going to be important for them. Part of the narrative is going to be important for them to win, especially after an embarrassing loss to the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets stink.
Yeah. And you know what? The Rangers are really good at home, 13-3-2 on home ice. Minnesota really good on home ice too. So, they go over to the road. Just taking a look at their road record. Yeah, so it's still pretty good, but obviously not as good. 11-7-2. They're 14-3-1 at home. I think this is going to be a terrific game. I don't see a lot of
Yep.
offense, though. I really don't. I got just the respect for Shesterkin. I like Cam Talbot. I actually wish Kakinen was starting. Talbot, had a bit of a. It wasn't a setback. It was a new injury. He left the game against the Habs. They were up like 8-2. They didn't really need him, but so obviously he's fine. He's good to go here. I mean, I like the call. Rangers at home plus money. It does make a lot of sense. I don't know. Minnesota's pretty good.
Part of it for me is what you said, Talbot. Talbot hasn't played in a while, and like you can practice and be healthy and all that, but there's something completely different about game speed. Yes, he's practicing with NHL players, but in a game is completely different. So, look, I have Cam Talbot. I'll be starting him in a bunch of fantasy leagues. I stacked him and Kakinen because they have a great defensive core. They've been a very good team. Obviously with wins and goals against average and stuff like that. So I've got Kakinen and Talbot on a lot of my teams as a stack. So getting Talbot back is a big deal for me, and I will play him tonight in season long. But what worries me is the rest, and the Rangers are going to be motivated because of the Lundqvist thing, but more importantly, motivated because they just lost to Columbus.
Yeah. No Adam Fox tonight, I think, is pretty significant as well.
That worries me too. Yep.
Yeah. No Adam Fox is, it kind of worries me about the under. Not that I think he's a fantastic defensive defenseman. I think he's fine. But honestly, I guess offensively, you lose your best weapon on the blue line and a big part of the power play as well. So I'm not coming off the Wild. I like the Wild. I'm not coming off that under 6. I like the under 2. Joel Eriksson Ek over 2.5 shots, 7 shots, 4 shots in his last 2 games. You can get him over at Unibet at -148. He's the guy for me. Not interested in a ton of goals. We can recap towards the end. You like Kreider there. I just don't think we see a lot of offense. Let's keep things going here. Colorado and Chicago. We have the Blackhawks on home ice at +175, using, the parlay calculator to get the best possible odds instead of shopping around. That is from BetMGM, +175, and then the Colorado Avalanche here at -189. They are going to be without Nathan McKinnon, who broke his nose on that Taylor Hall hit, which I thought was a fine hit, to be honest. It was just unfortunate incident. Looked like he just kind of hit his hand, and his hand hit the stick, and the stick hit his face, and he broke his nose, and that's it. He's going to miss, apparently the next 3 games here. Not sure what the Avs are going to do. We've seen McKinnon out of the lineup before. They have moved Mikko Rantanen at center. I've seen Newhook up there. I've seen JT Compher up there. We could see Kadri up there, but we do know that Kadri is just going to get a lot of ice time here tonight, whether it's line 1. He's definitely on power play 1, regardless of McKinnon's status. He's 6'9" on DraftKings. That's where I'm starting most of my lineups. I like his over 3.5 shot props as well. This is something that he's hit pretty consistently all year, especially lately. 4 shots, 7 shots, 5 shots in his last 3 games. He's had at least 4 shots in 5 of his past 6 contests. He's got 39 points in 38 games. That's where I'm starting a lot of my lineups. On the other side, with the Chicago Blackhawks, I do believe that a guy like Seth Jones and DeBrincat are in play for shot props. DeBrincat is 4.6. He's way too cheap. I don't care who he's playing tonight. He is way too cheap for a guy that has got 26 goals in the season. He's right there among the leaders, 36 points in 43 games. He's got at least 3 shots in 3 straight games and 4 of his past 5. So he is in play at 2.5 shots as well. What else do you like from this game?
That's Colorado for sure. I'm going Valerie Nichushkin to be an anytime scorer.
Nice.
He's got really, obviously huge plus odds. Daily Faceoff is showing that he's going to play on the top line with Rantanen and Landeskog. Anybody that plays with Rantanen, sign me up. And he's also going to play in the second power play. So, with the odds, let me see. I was looking at it earlier, and I put my bet in when the odds were, when you got to scroll down, that's when you know you're into it. You're into the deep water. So he's a +230 to be an anytime scorer. So I'm going with him. I feel really good about that because of, it's no secret. I'm a Nichushkin guy. I fell in love with him a couple years ago after a game. They showed a video, I think when he was in Dallas, of him doing clean and jerks in the hallway after he played a game. And I was like, I love this guy. And he's actually been really good from that time on, and he's been good with the Colorado Avalanche, and that's no secret. They're a great team filled with great players. And like I said, anyone that's going to play with Rantanen, who's an unbelievable player, an unbelievable distributor of the puck, just a great hockey player all over that's a big line. Like those are all 3 big hockey players, and I like Nichushkin to score tonight.
That's a great call. At 230, you said BetMGM plus 225. Yeah, getting that boost on that top line here tonight. Fairly
Do I
cheap
go
also
first
from.
scorer? That's
I mean,
crazy.
you
Right?
could.
Plus
You could do
1,500.
both.
$5.
It's pretty good
See what
odds for a guy
happens.
who is most likely going to start the game, right? I mean, they probably
Let's
roll with the top
go.
line. Why not, right? It's the Blackhawks after all. I like Colorado, even without McKinnon. I mean, this team has won, I think, 8 straight games. I believe, off the top of my head, I had the notes somewhere. I should be more prepared for this. I think they've outscored their opponents like 28-10. I got notes everywhere on this desk of mine, but they've been pretty good. Obviously, to have the 17-game winning streak on home ice, like that is that's significant. I really do have notes everywhere for this Avs team, but nonetheless, they're coming in hot. Even without McKinnon, I think they're fine. You can get them to win in 60. You win in 60 at minus 135. I gave it on the show. I think it was minus 130 at DraftKings. I'm seeing minus 135 to win in 60. And then, like you said, I mean, those guys that are just going to get a little bit more ice time here tonight with Nichushkin, who's 4-1. And then you have Newhook, who's probably going to play on that second line here today. He checks in at 2-9. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go with Colorado. And I wouldn't ignore a guy like, it looks like Taves is out of the lineup here tonight, but I wouldn't ignore a guy like DeBrincat or Patrick Kane. I see the question, Gilden, is Patrick Kane a lock at 3.5 shots? I don't think so. I think I would rather go with DeBrincat, to be honest with you. Kane is plus 110 over at Caesars. 3.5 I think is fine. But I like DeBrincat a little bit more, minus 149 at 2.5. It's just, that 3 shots as opposed to 4 shots. And he's just in a bit of a groove right now. But I think Kadri is my favorite shot prop from that game. But I do believe we're going to see a lot of goals in that contest, and there's a lot of different ways that you could go. You could parlay a lot of these guys as well, but as singles, I think Kane is fine. But if you're doing parlays, I would rather do. I'd rather go with DeBrincat in there. All right, 2 more games to get to in about 5 minutes here. Dallas and Washington. So Dallas returns home after a bit of an East Coast swing, and I know I kind of fade teams at home after that lengthy road trip. They went into Buffalo and one in Detroit, one in Philly, and one against the Devils. 4 of those teams, in my opinion, all brutal hockey teams. They return back home where they are one of the better teams in the league on home ice. And the Capitals, man, I feel like they're going through something. They've had a lot of adversity this year.
Yeah.
They're not getting great goaltending. They've lost 2 straight, 3 of their past 4. The 1 win of their past 4 was against Ottawa. They lost 4-1 on home ice against San Jose, lost 1-0 to Vegas, and then got the loss in Boston 4-3. I think we'll see some goals. 5.5 is tempting, even though, you look at Dallas and they're not a high-scoring team. The way that the Capitals have played defensively lately, and I know they've missed a lot of guys this year. There's several players who have missed time, and they're starting to get key guys back in their lineup. Backstrom is one of them, but still, I believe, without Oshie and a couple other guys. I think Dallas wins this game. I'm willing to take them. We talked about Lundqvist as it's Lundqvist night in New York. It's Daryl Sador night in Dallas. Remember him?
Yeah. He was awesome. What a player.
He was awesome. Man, those Stars teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, like Modano,
Loaded.
Obviously, Modano and Newendijk and Langenbrunner and Hatcher and Sador and there's another defenseman, Zubov, Eddie Belfour. They were really good. So that should be a fun, entertaining night for the Stars as well. I'm going Dallas here tonight. What do you think?
I'm leaning Capitals to bounce back because, like you said, I think there has been something going on. And they've got a couple injuries up and down, but this is a good team. They're well coached. They've got a lot of good players. Ovechkin, obviously, one of the top stars in the entire league. I'm not saying anything interesting there, but yeah, I just have a feeling about Washington, and Holtby's been shaky. Unger, I think, has taken the net there, and he's their starter, and Holtby has been up and down. So, like you said, coming off that road win and feeling confident, maybe a little too confident, winning against some bad teams, and I think Washington needs to get a win under their belt, and they're going to play real hard tonight.
Okay. Hintz 2.5 shots, doing it. He's our guy. He's one of our guys as well. He's cleared in 7 of his past 8 games. And all 3 of those guys, I think Pavelski. All right. I could stop rushing here. Tino, we'll only go about 5-7 more minutes here. I was really trying to rush to get you out at 2:30 because I know you got a lot of stuff going on as well. But we'll only go like another 5 minutes here. There is a couple things I wanted to say about this line in particular, especially on home ice. I did find some of my notes here. So Pavelski, he's got points in 13 of his past 14 games. He's got 48 points in 40 games this year. He's been unbelievable. Jason Robertson has points in 19 of his past 22 games. He's got 30 points over that span. Overall, he's got 85 points in 86 NHL games, and he's got 16 goals and 39 points in 32 games this season. Roope Hintz has 36 points in 38 games. This line has 123 points in 110 games combined. They're all plus money for an assist. It's crazy to me. Do you remember we said this on Tuesday? We said the exact same thing, that they were all plus money for an assist, and they all had an assist in that game. And in particular, for some of these guys on home ice, even better when you look at some of their numbers. I mentioned earlier, they're just not a great road team despite winning all 4 of those games on that 4-game road trip. They've been much better on home ice. Roope Hintz has 13 goals and 23 points in 18 home games compared to 6 goals and 13 points in just 20 road games. He scored a goal in 4 straight games. I'd like Dallas to get some offense here. And you're on Washington, so combine it. Let's go. Offense from Washington, offense from Dallas. We see the over 5.5. I think it could be a bit of a fun environment. Do you have a Washington a goal scorer tonight? I went to Backstrom the other day at plus 300, but he's a pass first guy. He was playing with Ovechkin for a little bit, and then they put him on the second line with Sprong and who else? Somebody else. Is like, man, it's like poor Backstrom. He's not, give him somebody good to play with, guys. Oh, it was Sherry. But do you have a goal scorer you like from this game?
I mean, obviously Ovechkin is the most likely, and I mean the books are following that. He's at negative 105, but Pavelski's been a good bet. He's been unbelievable at his age this year. He's been great. Jason Robertson at plus 190 to score is interesting. Even Sagan, who has been really good, over the last week or so, he's plus 210. I might go Sagan here.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah. I like that one a lot. So Hintz and Pavelski, both of these guys for 2.5 shots. And I think, for me, I like Hintz just to continue to go here. He's shooting the puck a lot. He's getting opportunities. I mean, he scored in 4 straight. He's got goals in 6 of his past 8. He's got goals in 7 of his past 10 games. So he's feeling it right now. And a lot of games with a lot of shots. I mean, 9, 5, 5, 3. So he's shooting the puck quite a bit. So we can get a Hintz goal maybe, or a Sagan goal on the power play, assisted by Pavelski, assisted by Hintz. I think my favorite assist prop would be in this game would be Pavelski, and just what he's doing and what you said. I mean, 29 assists on the season. He's got you look at the back of the hockey card. This guy is nuts. 2 assists in his last game, 3 assists 2 games prior to that one, 2 assists. I mean, he's got assists in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his last 11 games. It's like 15 assists over that span. I can't believe we're getting plus money. It's unbelievable. All right, final game of the night. Final game of the night is happening in Zona, Arizona, and the Boston Bruins. We have the Coyotes at plus 250, and then Boston at minus 275. So a bit of a lopsided way to finish things off. I see the reports that surfaced yesterday. The Arizona Coyotes are looking to build an arena with about 5,000 seats. Pardon? What? Just move to Quebec already. I mean, you want to Houston if you want to. Just stop it with the 5,000. Did you see the Brad Marchand chirp? Did you see the chirp?
Awesome.
I gotta find. It was awesome.
It's awesome.
Brad Marchand is. I'm starting to come around on Marchand a little bit. Obviously,
think about that as a Montreal Canadiens fan.
I don't like the way he carries himself on the ice, despite him being a really good player. And I've heard some off-ice stuff with him, also being from Nova Scotia. But man, dude can chirp. He has a good social media game. I'll give him that. Anyway, you're getting behind the Coyotes here tonight. Would this be a Boston puck line? What do you think?
I am not getting behind them. Them playing in a college arena where it's 5,000, but likely because they have to adjust things to play NHL games.
That's a junior A burn. I played junior hockey with more than 5,000 people in the stands. What are we talking about here? Are you kidding me? Get them out.
I'm gonna have more people at my get together the night before the Stadium Series. That's almost a guarantee. It's turning into a thing.
What do you like from this game?
I like Boston. I like Boston. Any shot prop, any assist. I mean, Bouchard, I'm trying to figure out a way right now to get him into my lineup, him and Marchand. I don't think it's going to happen for me. I'm trying to move things around, running out of money quick. But there's only 5 games. It's so much harder. Is it a way for you? It's so much harder for me.
Yeah, I find it. I'll be honest. I think with like 5 games, I feel like I can put together better DFS lineups. Like yesterday, I was like, oh my goodness, like 10 games. Like I just didn't know, to narrow it down to like 3 or 4 lines that I really liked. I usually just go all in on 3 or 4 lines. and just kind of mix and match some of those lines with other pieces. But I like Brad Marchand. I gave it on the show 2.5 shots. I think you can get that at a decent price. You guys know I like Pasternak. I think most books have him now at 4.5. I think the days maybe of 3.5 for Pasternak could be over. Excuse me. Let me just check quick time. It does seem to be over. 4.5 at -105 Caesars. I can't get behind that. -167 is not great Unibet, but I would put him into a parlay. I do like Brad Marchand though. He had a couple games in a row where he just had, 1 or 2 shots. And I think books, had him when he was on a run, they had him at 3.5 and then they bumped him down to 2.5. So same sort of deal. Caesars 168, 167 Unibet, 2.5. But I think he can put him into parlays for Brad Marchand. One prop that I really do like from this game that doesn't make much sense to me is Patrice Bergeron plus 100 for an assist, right? I mean, you figure that he's probably in on a little bit of the offense that happens here tonight between Boston and the Arizona Coyotes. As for Marchand, I mean, 5 shots in his last game. He got points in 3 straight. He's plus money for an assist as well. But I think Patrice Bergeron, I mean, maybe we get a power play goal from Pasternak assisted by, Bergeron or Marchand. I mean, Bergeron's got assists in back-to-back games. He's got 6 assists over his last 9 games. It's not bad. I mean, he's not having a fantastic season. But I think overall, plus money for an assist. I mean, they're the biggest favorites on the board here today. So I think, we can have some fun with them. All right.
Yep.
I think we're good. Brad for 2 points. Yeah. Sure. I mean, it's Arizona, right?
Decent.
I mean, what do we? Yeah, it's not bad. What kind of odds? Just probably plus money, I'd imagine. We're getting Crosby tonight, plus money for 2, plus 155 for 2 points against Detroit. Brad Marchand 2 points, same deal, plus 155 for 2 points for Brad Marchand. That's a pretty good bet. I like that one as well. 22 is so weird. Never thought I'd start liking Brad Marchand. I know, Dustin. It's taken me back a little bit as well. Eric, what is on your card here tonight?
Everybody buckle up. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you this is what I'm doing. Tyler Seguin, anytime goal scorer. Valerie Nichushkin, anytime goal scorer and first scorer. That's a decent payout. Sidney Crosby, first to score. That's also a decent payout, which seems almost inevitable if you're asking my opinion. Sidney Crosby to score, Chris Kreider to score. He's got 30 goals. It's looking like Ottawa to win because I'm back on the Ottawa train.
Ottawa's not playing.
Oh, that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
You're already this guy loves Ottawa so much that he's already made a bet tomorrow for the Sens. I absolutely love it. I love it. You crack me up, man. You kill me. Nichushkin, first time goal as I like it. If there's anything else you can think about it, I'll rattle off some picks here. And away we go. So for the shot props, I'm going back to Russ, guys, 2.5 shots. I like Joel Eriksson Ek at 2.5 shots. I like Kadri at 3.5 shots. I like DeBrincat at 2.5 shots. Let me just give you my favorites in a row. It is Hintz, it's Rust, it's Eriksson Ek. Those are my top 3. But I like Kadri and I like Marchand. Other guys that I do like, there was a Kane comment there, plus money. I do like him as a single. I like Pavelski at over 2.5 shots. And again, I mentioned DeBrincat. I like him over 2.5 shots. I like Russ to have an assist here tonight at plus money. I think the same deal for Pavelski to have an assist at plus money. I probably will have singles. Pavelski assist, Robertson assist, Hintz assist, Hintz goal. I think the line just contributes again. Every night they score. And if one of them scores, the other 2 are chipping in on apples. So I'm going to start there with some assist props. I did give a point prop over at Mean Streets. I had Rupe Hintz for a point, Brian Russ for a point, Cale Makar for a point, Patrice Bergeron for a point. That's plus 367. If you wanted to include Kaprizov, we're asking a lot here at 5. If you wanted to include Kaprizov, that's plus 563. Maybe combo that if you wanted to. You get 4 of the 5. But I just like Hintz, Russ, Makar, and Bergeron. For those plays for assists. My goal scorers tonight are Nazem Kadri, Rupe Hintz, Brad Marchand, Brian Russ, and Artemi Panarin. But I love that Nichushkin call. I think that's a fantastic call. Really good odds for a guy who's going to start the game. I like the over between Pittsburgh and Detroit. I like Minnesota and the under. I'm on Dallas and the over. And if you are looking for a puck line bet, I guess it would be Boston against Arizona. Am the artist. I like Letang over Crosby 2.5 shots. I think Crosby's fine. You just never know with Crosby. Sometimes he has those games where he just loves to shoot and he overtakes a game, and other times he's passing. Letang has hit more times than not. Is there anything else that you had, Eric, on the way out?
No, that covers it all. Playing DFS, obviously. I started with Kuznetsov and Ovechkin because I feel pretty strongly about Washington bounce back tonight. Obviously, Ovechkin is 8,700 on DraftKings, but I found value in Nichushkin, in Sagan. I got Mike Riley, who's looked really good skating and distributing the puck for Boston, playing against Arizona. Spurgeon, like you said, is only 4,000. I really like him as a player. Frankos to start and goal, and Burakovsky is only 3,900 for Colorado playing against Chicago tonight. So I found value everywhere else and was able to put Kuznetsov, who hasn't been great, but I just have a gut feeling about that Washington team tonight.
I like it. Yeah, for me, Francouz, I think, is a pretty good option in that. I won't be playing the Boston goalies. I don't like to spend at the top. I'm not interested in the pitch. I'm not interested in Casey DeSmith either. I probably will have a little bit of Cam Talbot in my life and Igor Shesterkin, Francouz. Those are probably my three goalies tonight that I'm rocking. I'm going to play Boston line one, Boston power play, get a little Craig Smith, Taylor Hall in there as values. Game stack Detroit and Pittsburgh, and then game stack Colorado and Chicago. I do believe Chicago will have some goals, and you guys know I'm not ignoring that top line in Dallas tonight. One more thing on the way out, prizepicks.com. We have the free pick tracker over to FTNdaily.com. If you're looking for some shot props tonight, Russ is at 3. That's okay. I think we could get the push, but I like Chris Letang over 2.5 shots. I like Tyler Bertuzzi over 2 shots in that game. I also like Alex DeBrincat at 3 shots. Patrick Kane at 3 shots. Like, these are guys that you maybe can get the push, but I think that they can get over and get the 4 as well. I actually think Kane is probably a better play than DeBrincat if they're both going to be at 3. And Kane is not going to be at 3.5. So those are the shot props that stand out for me. And in Dallas, again, Joe Pavelski. So just to kind of recap everything, I will have the pick entry in the free pick tracker at ftndaily.com. Use the promo code FTN. That'll get you a 100% first time deposit match of up to $100. And a friendly reminder, last night, guys, hanging out, Russ burned us. Remember? Russ burned us everywhere on our parlays. 3 for 4. It killed us. And over at DraftKings and FanDuel, you're not going to win 3 for 4. At Prize Picks, you can. If you put a unit down on a 4 shot prop pick entry, and you go 3 for 4, that's a 4 plus 400 payout. So it's 4-1. If you go, hey, I want to get all 4 of these, it's 9-1. But you can cover yourself and go 3 for 4 and still earn a profit. 100% deposit match too if you're a first-time user, so you can have some fun with this money. You've already signed up, refer a friend, and it's a free $25 in your account. Here it is: Pavelski 2.5, Letang 2.5, and oh man, I like Jason Robertson 2.5, but I'll go with Letang, Pavelski, and Jason Robertson. You can pick guys from the same game too, right?
Yep.
You can't do that on other books. It's almost like a same game parlay. So you can take that as same guys from the same game, especially if you think like a Colorado and Chicago are going to be, high powered, a lot of offense. You can have some fun with that one and take 3 or 4 from that game. We do have to get out of here, guys. Dustin, I'd like Makar, with no McKinnon. We've seen him kind of push the pace a little bit. I think he can get the 3 shots, but I do like Kadri, and I like Rantanen a little bit more, but I think he's fine, 2.5. Andy, on the way out, that's Prize Picks. I know it's not available in all the states. Soon, I think it will be available in all the states, but prizepicks.com. And use that promo code FTN. Check out FTNdaily.com. I'll put the link inside the description of this video. It'll bring you right to the free pick tracker. If you have any questions, hit me up at Chris Meaney. The DMs are open, and I'll circle back here on the YouTube page. But we do have to get out of here. But have some fun with Prize Picks, guys. A lot of success. We started giving picks in the middle of November. I'm at 85 units in that pick tracker. That's all parlays. It's not single plays. That's just some parlays, and you can cover yourself by taking the flex play where you only need to go 3 for 5, 3 for 4, 4 for 5, or 2 for 3. I rambled a lot there off the top. Appreciate you guys. Eric, awesome stuff. Have a great weekend. And Tino, thanks a lot as always. We'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.